Okay, let's take a look at some algebra that we might see on the nursing entrance exams, including the Hesi and even the T's. So when we talk about algebra, I know what happens in most people's mind. They think back about that time they were in high school or in college, and it was just a class they dreaded. Now, if you loved math, then this was easy and it was fun for you, and there are those that are like that. But if you're like most of us, algebra was not the funnest thing in the world. But you need not worry. There's not that much complexity on algebra on the exams, but there's just a little bit. And one of the things we want to talk about now is solving for x. Now, I say x, and what I mean by that is that you might have a formula that says 2x plus 8 is equal to 12. But I could just as easy make x any other letter because that's the unknown variable. And so I could say 2y plus 8, whatever, or I could say 2z plus 8 is equal whatever. So don't let that bother you. We could use any kind of variable there, but x is very, very common, and so that's what we'll do. Okay, so let's just go ahead and take a little closer look at something. We'll just go ahead and write one here. We'll say 2x plus, we'll say 4 is equal to 12. Now your purpose here is to get x by itself, but we have a problem. If we look at the whole side of this side of the equal sign, we've got, first of all, we've got a 2 latched on to the x. So it's like a leech, and we have to very carefully pull that 2 off. But the other thing that we have is we have a 4 in the equation, and the 4 is pretty easy to do that. All we have to do is just get rid of that 4 on that side of the equation. So let's go ahead and do that. So the best way to do that is you can just say, well, if there's a plus 4 here, all I have to do is minus 4. So plus 4 and a minus 4 are equal to 0. But the trick to any equation is whatever you do on one side of the equal sign, you must do on the other. And so because I took away 4 over here, then that's exactly what I'm going to need to do over here. So I'm going to say minus 4. And then, of course, 12 minus 4 is 8. So what I have left, I've gotten rid of the 4. What I have left is 2x, and then is equal to 8. And so that's not bad. We've gotten rid of the 4. And we could do that easily just by subtracting it from both sides. Now, the 2, or any number that's right next to a variable like that, x, y, z, I call it a leech. So it's very strongly attached. And so what we have to do is, our goal is to turn the 2 into a 1. Well, if you take any number, and it doesn't matter what it is, if I were to take 16 and divide it by itself, 16, then that's going to equal 1. So in other words, we're going to come over here and we're just going to divide it by 2. And what you're going to be left with is 1x, because 2 divided by 2 is 1. And so that'd be 1x. But if I do that there, then I certainly need to do it over here as well. So 8 divided by 2 as well. 2, and then that is going to equal 4. And so that's what we have, is we have the final result is 1x is equal to 4. The thing is when we just have 1x, we really don't need to put the 1 there anymore because that's inferred. And so in reality, the final answer is just simply x is equal to 4. And that's how we solve for x. Okay, and so let's just take a look at another one if we can. Let's say we have 4x plus 10 is equal to 50. We're going to use bigger numbers here now. All right, well, the first problem I have is I don't like this 10 right here. I need to get rid of that. And so I'll get rid of that, first of all, by just saying, well, let's subtract 10 from this side. And that's going to be 0 now. But if I do it from that side, then I have to subtract 10 from this side. And so 50 minus 10 is now 40. And then I like to rewrite the equation at this point, and I'll just change colors here. Now we'll say 4x is equal to 40. Now if I want to get rid of this 4, all I have to do is, and turn it into a 1, all I have to do is divide that by itself. and then that's going to be equal to 1x. But remember, I don't need to say 1x, so now I'm just going to just say x. But if I divide this side by 4, then I better divide this side by 4 as well. And so 40 divided by 4 is 10. And so that's the answer, is x is equal to 10. So that's how you can solve for x or y or z or the unknown number. Now, most commonly so far, what we see on the Hesi exam and even the T's, when we see this kind of math, we see them using the typical variables of x, y, z. However, just so you know, I could use A, I could say 4A or 4B or 4C. It doesn't really matter what letter I use. That's just an unknown variable, and we're trying to solve for that variable.